Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining me. This is the US Open webinar. My name's Russell. I'm the Senior Market Specialist at FXCM, and my email address is r@fxcm.com. Today being Monday, the 15th of November. This should read November, I'm begging your pardon, 2021. And here's a high-risk investment warning. I'll just keep this on screen for a few more moments. And market commentaries disclaimer. And here's our references, FXCM Market Scope 2.0. All right, so I'm going to bring up the scalping layout to see if we can put on a scalp with the market open. This is our daily. We're looking at the S&P 500, and we've got a fast stochastic here. You can see it's pointing upwards. The reason we're using the fast stochastic is because I want to know what the sentiment is on a sort of an emotional basis. I want to see it sort of, you know, emotions tend to run fairly quickly, and the fast stochastic, whilst it's usually too sensitive for a longer term analysis, I think it works quite well for a scalp. So we had a strong Friday, and the sort of run on emotion, so to speak, reflected here in the stochastic. Going through to the hourly chart, the position of the hourly chart here is in our zone 1. That's the upper red and upper blue. So we'll just keep an eye on that for the time being. Hey Katie, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining. But the fact that it's in the strong zone suggests this is one to look at. So we've got strong momentum in terms of sort of emotional momentum on the fast stochastic. We've got the position in our strong zone, and we've got some red. So perhaps there's a dip here. So we'll just go down to our 5-minute, and we can see here on the 5-minute chart there is a dip over here. Okay, the momentum on the 5-minute chart's not so strong. The reason I say that's because the stochastic's down, but I'm going to just put a measurement line here. Just want to switch this to ask. Okay, and we'll see if we can get price to close above this high here, and that would be a reference candle that we can potentially exploit. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. All right, so on the daily chart, I'm mainly looking just to see the direction of the fast stochastic. It's pointing in the right direction in terms of the zone 1 position. Let's just go down to the hourly and see what's going on here. And this one's a little tricky to read because it's actually fallen out of zone 1. It's fallen out of zone 1. And now there's some support coming back in. Truth be told, strictly speaking, this is an active candle. It's not a closed candle. So the last closed candle was a blue candle here. That closed in the bullish area. Okay, let's just go through to our 5-minute. All right, so we might put on one here. Let's just go back to the S&P. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the NASDAQ. Looks like there is a strong drive there. We've got a minute left on the NASDAQ. on this candlestick, and we want to see if we get a reference candle reversal here. Sort of the dip in the uptrend, right? The dip in the uptrend. So got 30 seconds here. So there's this is the indicator for the pullback, and now we just need the confirmation that the bulls are coming in, and we don't have the confirmation just yet. Let's see. All right. I think we're going to wait one more buy here. Let's go back to that S&P. Okay, let's go through to the Dow. Okay, so here's the momentum. Okay, remember it's a fast stochastic over 5 days. So we're trying to see. There's no percent D in. Okay, the percent D here, I've got no line. So I'm just looking at the raw momentum. Let's go down to the hourly. Okay, we're sitting nicely in zone 1 and some red coming in. So a potential pullback. Let's see if we can. This is again, it's a tricky entry here because this is quite a long bar now. Just whilst we're seeing all the volatility on the open, it's worth saying the markets haven't settled yet, right? It usually takes some time for the markets to settle, so it's not the ideal time to be looking for a scalp, but we'll work with what we have. All right, and let's go take a look at the small companies which have actually recently broken out and see if it's. Let's go through to the daily here. Okay, so it's also got an uptick in the fast stochastic. Just going through to the hourly, and it's actively in zone 1, but this is just a horrible start to the day. It doesn't give one any sort of confidence to actually go long. Let's just take a look at it. We'll put in a line in the sand anyways, and we'll do another rotation through. So let's go through to the S&P 500. So we were lucky there. Just we didn't get those 3 conditions, so sort of kept us out of a bit of pain here. Let's move this up here. Let's see what the US dollar is doing. So the US dollar is in zone 1. Its momentum, unfortunately, is a little flat today. Sort of heading actually southeast, and we're in the zone 3 here. So. the filter's pointing, if we get a signal, we would be looking for a short here. So I'm going to just pass in that for now. I'm going to go back to the S&P. Okay, so we're going to move this over here. Okay, that's fine. Going through to the US 30. And we'll take a look at the Russell 2000. Just for 10 seconds, I just want to move this here. So this is the first condition, right? So we've got only condition 1 out of 3. So we'll just see if we close above the reference candle's high. That we've got to move above it, that would be condition 2, and then we've got to close above it, that would be condition 3, and we have a potential reversal on there. This is a huge sell-off though, isn't it? Okay, can move this one over here. So we're not having any signals generated, and again, just to reiterate, the opening momentum, you can see if you take a look at the stochastic, it's weak on the shorter term charts, and weak momentum, right? And we're trying to go long because of the filters. Kind of a support area here at the time being. This is very far away. Actually, let's take this out. Katie's just asked why we're not having the London Open. At the moment, the only one that I can really dedicate time to, unfortunately, is the DAX Open, and that's because we are pushing to have written content on the website. So a lot of my time is now occupied by sort of researching the stuff to put on the article, to put on the website, and then to write the article. And it actually takes a fair amount of time. So I don't have the capability to do the London Open at the moment. The US Open, I'm also having difficulty with, but I want to keep that one going. I just want to see how if I can manage the time. So I hope that answers the question, Katie. I think the Nasdaq might be disqualifying itself. Let's just go back to that US 30. The markets are exceptionally weak on the Monday Open so far. You can see all the momentum's on the downside here, so it's difficult for us to get in here because the filters are pointing to long positions, but it looks like we're caught in the middle of a transition from the long side to the short side. If we're caught in the middle of a transition, it's going to be very difficult to put on a trade because transitions are difficult, notoriously difficult to trade. We may have to go to a different market. Let's just see how this goes. Just going to start looking at some other instruments now. I'll come back to the indices in a moment. Got 2 minutes still, but none of them are giving the right signals. Let's just see what's happening with the Aussie. Looks like another tough trade. Just taking a look at cable. Let's place an order on cable. So we bought at the ask. I'm going to switch it to the bid because we set up the bid, and we'll see if this is hopefully a reference candle reversal. So there's some momentum coming in here from the fast stochastic. It's not a terrific position to be in, but remember we're scalping, so there's some positive momentum there on the daily, and the last active candle closed in the zone 1, and then we've got a potential reference candle here. So that's condition 1, and then closing above that is condition 2. Sorry, moving above that's condition 2, and closing above that's condition 3. Now we have to see if the market's going to cooperate with that, and we want to get the stop up as quickly as we can. See what's happening on the S&P. Oh, that would have been a terrific one. Okay, so maybe there we are here. So the S&P. It's so strange. Peter says that my webinars help teach discipline. I think perhaps being a little bit more patient over here is probably the chart that I would prefer to go into, Peter. But nevertheless, we are long cable. Let's see if we can make something of it. Got another minute 5 here. I don't like that it's positioned in zone 2 here. Let's see how it goes. So take a look at the S&P. All right, so let's put in a support here. So we know we'll be in trouble if that area gets breached, because you can see over the last sort of 2 hours, it's kind of hit here, right? The last hour, I beg yours, sort of hits here and the support holds. So I think if that gets breached, we're in for a loss. Okay, and just to remind you guys, this is it's a live trade, but it's on a demo. Please don't forget this is a demo account. With the non-farm payrolls, we use a live account. Okay, now keep an eye on that stochastic. Remember, we want that stochastic to get into the 80 area. That would be a really good sign, and quite a ways away from that. So we just want to keep an eye on that. Okay, some support coming in now, some bids. Another 2 minutes here, and we're kind of looking for 3 to 10. Sometimes we've been fortunate to get more, but sort of I think 3 to 10 consistently throughout the day is what you would look to be doing as a scalper. Yeah, I did see a headline just before I logged in. So Peter's just written here that the BOE is doing a bit of talking. Are you referring to the cryptocurrency? Because I did see there's a headline that the BOE said what did they say exactly? See if I can find it. They said with regards to cryptos, I've lost it, but I can see there's another headline here just suggesting that very uneasy about the inflation situation. I tell you, this that kind of talk, it's not surprising. I mean, the whole market was expecting the interest rate hike Thursday week back, right? Not the last Thursday, the Thursday before, and it never came. Never came. So I'm not surprised. And there is a UK CPI print this week. It's going to be on Thursday, I believe, and then they have retail sales on Friday. So Worry over inflation from Saunders. Peter's writing, yeah. So we'll see what the next print is. They also seem to suggest, see if I can find that other headline, maybe it's been changed. They seem to suggest that crypto risk is starting to inflate, but I'm saying that's subject to correction. It's something that I saw in sort of a very sort of quick kind of glance. I think that there's most certainly going to be a rate hike in December, one would think. All right, so we're stuck in a range here, which is not ideal. We're kind of right here. I don't mind just having a quick look at how that S&P is doing and the US 30. Oh, okay, that's interesting. And let's just use the US 30. Right, so all of these instruments are sort of ranging just over the last sort of 15 minutes or so. Going back to the pound US dollar. And there's not much volatility with regards to any of Bailey's testimony so far. You would think that if he's very uneasy about inflation, that it would kind of really help the pound here, but we're caught in this range. So he says here, very uneasy about the inflation situation. November decision was a very close call. We now have much more two-sided risks. Labor market looks tight. But nothing that's really causing the pound to break out, is it? All right, here's some activity. This is what's keeping the resistance on this sentence. Given very high uncertainty in the economy, it would be hazardous to give specific forward guidance. I think that's putting a ceiling on where we are right now. Okay, 44 seconds. Okay, 16 seconds. I'm just keeping an eye on this stochastic here. We're going to have to start reducing the risk here on this position as well. Just forget about this resistance. think we can put it under the support here. Let's just get some of it out at least, so at least some risk is coming out of the trade. Okay, so the British action's picking up here, and I think it's the market discounting in my opinion, discounting a probable rate hike in December as opposed to February. There was talk maybe February because of the that's when I think the scheduled press conference is. And if that is the case, gee, then I think cable's going to get knocked quite badly. The next BOE, I'm fairly certain they'll have to raise. Nevertheless, we'll see what happens with the CPI and the retail sales this week. Okay, so we can get rid of this support because if it heads back down, there will be stopped down. Okay, let's go ahead and start locking some stuff in here. Locking in the pips because we're 9 pips in front now. We'll switch this to dynamic now. Okay, there's the breakout. Okay, we're 13 in. I'm going to just capture a bit more. So we're getting the stochastic moving now. Okay, 30 seconds, we'll get the next candle here. Okay, here's the next candle. That's the current resistance. All right. So there we are, 11 pips for that. And then as a scalper, you'd look for the next opportunity. So that one was pretty decent, I think. I want to thank everyone for joining me this afternoon. I enjoyed this session, and I'm going to try and figure out the schedule. But thank you very much for joining, and I invite you to the DAX Open tomorrow morning. Thanks very much, guys.